All right, let's talk golf. Today, we're diving deep into the absolute biggest stages in the sport, the 4 tournaments that really define a player's career and give us those moments we never, ever forget.
So, have you ever actually thought about that? Why does winning one tournament make you a legend, while winning another is, well, it's just a really nice paycheck? The answer? It really boils down to 3 things: history, pressure, and just pure prestige. We're talking about the major championships.
And look, it is not about the prize money. I mean, sure, that helps. But the majors, they are the ultimate yardstick for greatness. These are the championships that get etched into the history books. They're what every single pro golfer dreams about winning to cement their legacy.
And we have to start with the first one of the year, the Masters. It happens every April, and the whole event is just dripping with tradition and a kind of exclusivity you don't see anywhere else. It's played on what is arguably the most famous and most perfect piece of land in the entire world of sports.
The thing that really sets the Masters apart is that it's the only major that's played at the exact same course every single year. The best players in the world return to Augusta National, and you can just feel the history there. You've got the iconic green jacket, that terrifying stretch of holes they call Amen Corner. Literally every single thing about this place is legendary.
And speaking of legends, you just can't talk about Augusta without talking about Tiger Woods. Back in 1997, this 21-year-old kid shows up, and he doesn't just win. No, he takes the course and the entire field and just completely tears them apart in a way nobody had ever even imagined before.
He won by an incredible 12 strokes. Let that sink in for a second. Most of these huge tournaments are decided by a single shot, maybe 2. This was an absolute demolition. It wasn't just a win. It was a statement that the entire sport of golf was about to change. Forever.
All right, next up, we've got the PGA Championship. Now, for the longest time, this was known as Glory's last shot because it was held in August. But a few years back, they shook things up and moved it to May, making it the second major of the season. This one, well, it's the tournament for the pros, run by the PGA of America.
It's got a super interesting history, too. It actually started out as a match play event, where guys went head-to-head, one-on-one. And the prize? The Wanamaker Trophy is an absolute beast. We're talking 27 pounds. It is the heavyweight champion of major trophies for sure.
And just like every major, the PGA has delivered some truly incredible stories. So let's rewind to 2021. The scene is Kiowa Island. It is windy, it is tough, and Phil Mickelson does something that, frankly, a lot of people thought was impossible. He was 50 years old. I mean, come on. He just completely defied Father Time, holding off guys literally half his age to become the oldest major champion ever. It was an absolutely unbelievable achievement.
So we go from a story about defying age to a tournament where the only real goal is just to survive. Welcome to the US Open. The organization that runs it, the USGA, has one simple identity: to make this the hardest, most grueling test in golf, period.
And you really couldn't find a more different philosophy from the Masters. At Augusta, it's about drama and perfect shots. At the US Open, the USGA isn't just trying to reward good shots, they're trying to brutally punish bad ones. The rough is ridiculously thick, the fairways are skinny, and the greens are like putting on glass. It's not about scoring low, it's about trying to avoid a total disaster. How tough does it get? Well, the 1974 event was so hard they literally called it the Massacre at Winged Foot, and the winning score was 7 over par. Yeah. See, the US Open doesn't just find the best golfer, it finds the toughest one.
And that kind of toughness, well, it creates some pretty compelling tragedies. And for the same Phil Mickelson who conquered the PGA at 50, the US Open has been a career-long source of pure heartbreak. It's the one he needs for the career Grand Slam.
He's finished in second place, a record, 6 times. 6! Often in the most gut-wrenching, agonizing ways you can possibly imagine. It's a brutal reminder of just how insanely difficult this championship is to win. Okay, for our last major, we are heading across the pond for golf's oldest and most historic championship, the Open. It was first played way back in 1860. I mean, this is it. This is where it all began. It's the original test of golf. The Open is always played on these traditional links courses, right on the coast, firm and totally exposed to the elements. And here, the biggest challenge isn't always the course itself, it's the weather. The wind can howl, the rain can come in sideways, and a calm round can turn into a battle for survival in minutes.
The winner gets that iconic claret jug, which for many is the most coveted prize in all of golf. And that mix of pressure and crazy conditions, it can lead to some spectacular collapses. And none is more famous than Jean Van de Velde in 1999. He had the tournament won on the final hole. All he needed was a double bogey, a 6, to win. But a series of disastrous choices led to a 7, a playoff, and one of the most unbelievable losses in the history of sports.
So, those are the big four. They really do stand alone. But there are a couple of other events that are so prestigious, they absolutely demand our attention. You can think of them as the best of the rest.
First up is the Players' Championship. People often call it the 5th major, and for good reason. It has one of the strongest fields in golf all year, a huge prize purse, and a truly iconic venue. So while it's not officially a major, you can ask any player and they'll tell you this is one they desperately want to win.
And at the very heart of the tournament is the pure terror of the 17th hole at TPC Sawgrass, the Island Green. It's just a tiny little par 3, but it has wrecked countless scorecards. In fact, it's wild, but the best players in the world are actually more likely to make a double bogey or worse than they are to make a birdie. It can just crush your dreams in an instant.
And then you have the Ryder Cup. This is completely different. It's not about individual glory. It is all about team pride. USA versus Europe. There is no prize money, just pure bragging rights. And the atmosphere is just electric. Honestly, more like a football match than a quiet golf tournament. This intense rivalry has created some of the most dramatic and controversial moments in all of golf. I mean, you have events with nicknames like the War on the Shore and the Battle of Brooklyn. That tells you everything you need to know. And then you have the Miracle at Medina, which was just one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. So, in the end, whether it's for a green jacket, a claret jug, or just the pride of an entire continent, these tournaments provide the stage. But it's the human drama, the triumphs, the meltdowns, and the impossible comebacks that really make them so special. And the only question is, who's going to write the next chapter?